What's going on, YouTube? Thanks for tuning into the channel. Welcome to Dak Attack, where I have a video today about a concept of a wise man sounds like a madman to a dumb man. Let's get into it. So, what does that even really mean? It really comes down to that, if somebody's not on your wavelength, they're not going to understand where you're coming from, and it is a point of contention and also a point of confusion and frustration for a lot of people, including myself, throughout my development. I've tried to explain things to people to get external validation that what I'm going on is the right direction, but they're not on the same level plane. A lot of these are people that I've grown up with, people I've known for years, and you kind of have to just know that you can't bring everybody along. But I'm going to kind of break it down in three different places where this makes sense, but I'll give you the quote again. A wise man sounds like a madman to a dumb man. So the first part of this is having confidence in your plan in terms of dealing with this quote, this statement, this type of predicament. So generally why you feel like you need to explain it is because you don't have confidence in the plan that you have. So what I would say is to, do your research. Obviously look up things that are consistent with what you're trying to do and people that have actually done it, and just have confidence in the way that you're going, your thought process, and the plans that you came up with. This is something I've also brought up in another video when I was talking about creating yourself as the anchor. Once again, this is just having the confidence in your convictions, the courage of your convictions, and actually moving towards what you want to move towards, regardless of what other people think. If you've created the plan, if the plan is sound to you and it makes sense, and the person that you're talking to is not somebody that is like further along, it's not somebody that you need to consider. You don't need to convince your friends that what you're doing makes sense, because what happens to me a lot is a lot of my friends aren't going anywhere. So when they hear what I'm saying, it's like, dude, you're wasting your time. You could be out here, playing beer pong in Prospect Park. That's what my friend asked me to do the other day. And it's like, bro, I'm 28. That's not like an activity that I want to do. That's not in my game plan. But to him, that sounds crazy because that's the life he's living. So really having confidence in your plan, where you're going, the courage of your convictions, and the research that you've done to set this up, that you don't feel like you need to explain it, because you're gonna sound crazy to people that aren't on that same wavelength. So that's number one, confidence in the plan. Number two, your happiness is paramount. This is something that I got from Patrice O'Neal. He's a comedian. He died back in 2009. Has great information. I guess you could put it towards like red pill stuff. I really like him. I think he has a great perspective that was very much before his time, RIP. But your happiness is paramount. And what this really means is don't let anybody hold you back. Specifically to dudes, this is something that will happen getting into relationships. Don't move across the world because a girl wants to move across the world. Like, if that wasn't within your plan and in your gut you feel like, dude, I don't want to do that, don't go with it. Don't feel like you need to spend all this time entertaining somebody else when that's not your plan. Stick to what you want to do. And if they don't understand it, I'm not the one to tell you to get rid of them, but like, that's what I would do. Like, if you're not, it's either get right or get left. That's kind of my motto, that if you're not understanding where I'm going, what I'm trying to do, then I just don't need that in my life. Like, I have the confidence that I'm gonna make it work, and that the game plan that I have is sound, and that's what I want to move through. And I've spent a lot of time explaining things to people and having them ask me about, well, what's your business plan, and then what's next, and what's this, and it's like, honestly, this is not, you're not an investor. You don't have any fucking business acumen. Like, why am I trying to explain and get validation from you, or acceptance from you, or approval from you, which I'll get into in a second, that my happiness is paramount. Anything that is taking me away from the game plan that I'm doing, I'm not letting into my life. The biggest thing of which that I see this happening to other people and the stresses they have, it does come in the form of relationships with certain women that are not with that plan. They're on a whole different thing. They want to maybe start a family. They want you to spend more time, your free time with them. They don't understand the direction you're going in. And I'm not saying this is with all women. I just think it's a dynamic that happens to a lot of the guys I speak to, and they get caught into this position where half of their mental and emotional bandwidth is spent dealing with somebody else's emotions and problems when they're not even fully, figured out on theirs. So that's the next one, is that your happiness is paramount. That's something that you need to consistently, put in the forefront. And when I'm saying your happiness, I'm talking about, actually achieving the goals that you have and targets you have set, and not letting it get, pushed off the way because somebody else has a particular opinion, which gets me to the third part, that other people's approval or disapproval of you is none of your fucking business. You can't really worry about what other people think about what you're doing. This is something that I get into a lot, like mentally in my head, is that you're always waiting for permission to do things. And people that are really successful, people that actually get things done, don't wait for that approval. They go out and do it regardless of what other people think. And that's really where this statement fully comes all the way around circle, is that you don't need to explain this to people. If you know what you want to do and you want to do it, you don't need to ask anybody else that doesn't have particular experience that they can give you in the form of like a mentorship or direct actionable knowledge. If it's just like a family member, a friend, a significant other, feel free to try to explain it to them. But if they don't get it, just stop and you focus on what you're trying to do and make those decisions whether or not you want to kind of include tending to that particular misunderstanding that's happening with that other person or thing or society at large. Just really like not focusing on what other people think, because at the end of the day, as I said in that statement, a wise man sounds like a madman to a dumb man. If somebody's not on your wavelength, they're never gonna understand, and all you're doing is wasting your breath, your time, your energy, adding frustration and stress to you, figuring out why people are like that, and not just accepting their nature, that they're just on a different wavelength. It's all good. Let them go where they're gonna go, and you go where you want to go. That's it for this one. Just trying to make sure I stay consistent, keeping these up Monday through Friday. If you like the content, like, comment, subscribe. If you fuck with the vibe, welcome to the tribe. Till next time, peace.